Obviously, pleased with the outcomes both Friday and Saturday. Certainly, Friday night was a learning opportunity for our squad. When we met Saturday morning prior to our second game, we had a good film session, a good opportunity to learn from Friday's game, and got a chance on Saturday afternoon, with a 2-0 lead going into this third period to see if we learned anything from Friday. But overall, the weekend was good. Obviously, Minnesota's got a very strong team, and I'm sure we'll probably see them somewhere down the line here. But very pleased. Certainly want to thank our fans. I thought both atmospheres, were great, and that's a big help to our players, especially when they can create the energy that they did both Friday night and Saturday afternoon. So extra session of practice this week as we get ready for St. Cloud on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. So look forward to that challenge.
Questions? Todd.
What did you guys have to learn between Friday and Saturday to be able to go into the third period and play through to the finish, I guess?
Well, the big thing is, you're up 4-1, and unfortunately, in between periods, you got a long time to think about that, and then you go on the ice, and you talk about continue to play on your toes, continue to play to win. And I thought, even though when they made it 4-2 and they got a power play on the same play and we killed that power play off, I thought we could keep the momentum. But, they gained some momentum even though they didn't score on the power play. And, before you know it, it's 4-3. And, you start playing on your heels. You start backing up. You start giving them space. And, they're a dangerous team. And they've got, 3 or 4 players that if you give them enough time and space, they become really difficult to cover. And, they made a couple really big-time plays to score goals on it, especially to tie the game. And so you just show some films and get people to understand, how to manage the puck, how to take care of the puck in certain areas, and most importantly was to protect areas. And, from the get-go on Saturday, we protected those areas. We did a better job of staying up in the play, taking their time and space away. And, as I told the team Saturday after the game, the last 8 or 9 minutes of the game was enjoyable from my seat, standing on the bench watching the players. I didn't have to say much at all. It was just, unfolding right in front of me. They were doing all the little things. They were communicating well and making it really difficult for Minnesota to get the puck in their end. And so great learning opportunity, and certainly pleased with the way the 60 minutes went Saturday.
Alec?
The way that you guys bounced back Saturday night and they learned from things, is that a trait of a national championship team, maybe compared to maybe last year's team or anything?
It's about growth. As I told the players too, every shift's got its own story, every period, every game. And, the most important part of, when you're finished with a game is, what do we do well in that game? And what didn't we do well? And then the biggest thing is to come back either the next game or the next practice and try to work on those things that you just want to make strides on. It's all about this process we talk about starting in September. Every day trying to improve yourself. Every weekend you get tested with a couple of games, whether you're at home or on the road. And just a reflection. So we'll look at Saturday's game this afternoon prior to, going on the ice, try to figure out some of the things that, we did well in that game, other things that, we need to continue to improve. And so that's the process. And then you get an opportunity. So Saturday afternoon we get another opportunity to play a game, and you do the same thing. You can't get wrapped up in, what's going to happen in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because then you lose focus of what you need to focus on that particular day. And within a game, it's, every face-off. When you're playing these high-ranked teams, it's every shift is important. And how do I conduct myself, and how do I play in that shift? And like in basketball, one play can make a difference in the whole game. It might happen early, it might happen in the middle, it might happen at the end. And so you want to make sure that you don't blink and you're focused in.
Right.
Did we see Saturday how good your team can be defensively? They only had 22 shots. I know your club only had 22 shots, but nevertheless, did we see how good you can be?
Yeah, that's an interesting because both games there weren't a lot of numbers of shots. I think we only attempted 57 on Saturday. I think Minnesota attempted 47. It was almost like this game of chess. It started off Friday night, and there wasn't much going on early on in the game. Everybody's trying to figure out how people are going to play. But I was really proud of the way we played Saturday. I mean, obviously you want to win the game, but more importantly, it's how you're playing. Are you playing the right way? And you're playing against a real top team with some real highly skilled players. And what do you need to do to play against them? And we did a good job. So in film session today, we'll show a lot of good things, and then it's just a matter of coming back next weekend and continue to build on that and see that more consistently.
Todd.
You said something about protecting areas of the ice. Are you talking about net fronts? Or are we talking about the defensive zone in general? It's been a long time since the goals against have been as high as they have been in the last couple of games for your team. Was that a concern? Is that something you need to have a wake-up session
Yeah,
about?
usually when we play Minnesota, you don't see 5-4 scores. I mean, that doesn't happen. It's usually in that 2-1, 1-0, 3-1 empty net type thing. But, there were breakdowns with not only the goals that they scored, but other opportunities on certain parts of the ice, especially in our defensive zone between the face-off dots in the middle of the ice. And so you watch film and you look at the breakdowns, and it's like you can't put Kristen and your goaltender in a situation where you're asking her to stop this on 5, 6, 7 times, because it's not going to happen. Eventually, they're going to get the puck in the back of the net. So it's, again, you got to play on your toes. You got to play to win. You can't be afraid to lose. And if you're able to do that, and I always call it, you play free. You're not worried about going on the ice making mistakes. Then you're going to play up to your capabilities. If all of a sudden you start thinking between the ears and you don't want to do this, oh, she's on the ice, I need to back up. It's like, it doesn't work. It can get pretty ugly pretty quick. And there was about a 7 or 8 minute stretch that, we were bending and we were breaking. And so coming back Saturday, a couple people played a lot better than they did Friday. And so, again, it's this learning opportunity. You're playing against a top team, and how do you conduct yourself? So it's playing with confidence, being comfortable, and as I've always said, let's go out and have some fun.